The concept of idle incremental games might not sound fun at first. You watch a number go up, buy upgrades to make it go faster, and when you hit a price wall, you just reset your progress to gain a production bonus and advance a bit further next time. Does that sound fun to you? However, there are hundreds, even thousands of extremely popular idle incremental games with a huge community of highly dedicated players. So, what is this magic? What makes incremental games fun? As a solo game developer, I've been working on my own idle incremental game Get a Little Gold for more than 10 years. I've studied this topic quite a bit and came to the conclusion that majority of great idle incremental games share this one concept that I'm about to show you. To prove my point, I'm going to create a completely new incremental game just for the sake of this video. This game will include only this one single mechanic and nothing else. I hope it will still be engaging and fun, so let's get straight to work, shall we? First of all, I need to come up with the idea of main currency. It could be anything: cookies, leaves, pixels, eggs, even animator dimensions. Initially I thought I wouldn't try to be original and use dollars or bucks as a main currency. But then I decided to change bucks into ducks, because in this way I can use this highly funny quacking sound to every button in the game. And that already sounds fun. To make things a little bit easier for myself, I borrowed background and button design from the main project Get a Little Gold. After all, I'm trying to create the most basic incremental game and don't need really fancy graphics or unique design to prove my point that this single mechanic can make the game really engaging and fun. The most essential element of every incremental game is the counter of the main currency, ducks in our case. So let's add it right in the middle of the screen. The initial amount of ducks will be 10, because that's how much our first generator will cost. If you've played other incremental games, you probably know what generator is. But for those who don't, generator is just upgrade, a structure or a building that produces or generates, hence the name, the main currency. In our case, the first generator will cost 10 ducks and produce 2 ducks every second. So let's quickly create a simple button that lets us to purchase this first generator. We also need a text field showing our actual ducks production speed, measured in ducks per second. Here is where the magic begins. At their core, the vast majority of idle incremental games are just a seesaw between profits and costs. This means that with every next generator you buy, your profits grow linearly, while your costs grow exponentially. To make this clearer, let's take a look at the formulas I'm using for a duck game. Every generator you buy will increase your duck production by 2 ducks per second. This means that 10 generators will produce 20 ducks per second, and 100 generators will produce 200 ducks per second. That's what linear growth is. However, the cost of each subsequent generator will be 10% higher than previous one. Given this exponential growth, the cost of the 10th generator will be 24 ducks, and the 100th one will cost more than 100,000 ducks. That escalated quickly. Now, what do these numbers really mean? Let's say you already have 9 generators producing 18 ducks per second. It will only take you 2 seconds to purchase your 10th generator. But you would need to wait more than 10 minutes to progress from 99 to 100 generators, and if you've already purchased 199 generators, it would take more than 50 days to buy the 200th one, which would cost more than 2 billion ducks. That's the power of exponential growth. So, at the earlier stages of the game, your production will exceed costs, but the more generators you buy, the higher the price of the next one becomes, until eventually the waiting time for the next generators becomes prohibitive and you hit the wall. Remember the one and only mechanic that makes incremental games fun I mentioned above? Well, in my opinion, all the enjoyment and engagement of idle incremental game stems from its ability to offer creative ways to overcome this wall. Potentially there are tens or even hundreds approaches to it. Covering them all would definitely be beyond the scope of this video. However, there are two basic and essential ones that, without exaggeration, are used in every incremental game I ever played. And I firmly believe that using just these two are sufficient to create a reasonably engaging game. So, once we hit the wall and the speed of our game slows down, what can be done to speed it up? The most obvious and widely used solution is to create another type of generator whose price would be much higher, but whose production is also greater. In our case, we create a second type of generator which will cost 1000 ducks and will produce 100 ducks per second. At first glance, it might seem that this generator is less preferable because its production rate compared to its price is lower. However, due to the exponential nature of price growth, in fact, this second type of generator produces more ducks and costs less. Let me show you an example. You will spend more than 11,000 ducks to buy 50 generators of the first type, which produce 100 ducks per second. This same production will cost you only 1000 ducks if you buy the generator of the second type. Now it will cost you almost 1.5 million ducks to purchase 100 generators of the first type, producing 200 ducks per second. But you can reach that same level of production by buying just 2 generators of the second type for 2100 ducks. I hope that makes sense. At the same time, it doesn't really matter how much more appealing the second type of generator is, because sooner or later it will also become irrelevant. Only the game designer decides how many types of generators there will be in the game. For the duck game, I limited myself for 3 types of generators. The last one produces 5000 ducks per second and its cost starts from 100,000 ducks. In my main game project, Get a Little Gold, there are 15 types of generators ranging from pan to a white hole, something opposite to a black hole. And if you are into incremental games, you've probably seen hundreds or even thousands types of various generators. But is there something beyond generators? Well, the second approach to breaking the wall is the well-known prestige mechanic. Again, if you played incremental games before, you almost certainly come across the concept of prestige mechanic. In a nutshell, it's a mechanic that allows you to reset the progress in the game in exchange for some permanent boost that allows you to progress faster next time. For our duck game, let's implement the most basic prestige mechanic. First, we should add the variable to keep track of all ducks produced during the game. Now, once the number of ducks reaches 1 million, we'll show a button offering to reset the progress and obtain a 100% boost to all duck production. We can either prestige now or wait longer to collect more ducks and increase our potential bonus. Each subsequent step requires 1 million more ducks than previous one, and we'll add another 100% to the bonus. So to reach 200% bonus, we need to collect a total of 3 million ducks. And to reach 300% bonus, we need to collect 6 million ducks. Hope that makes sense. Another important aspect of virtually every incremental game is offline earnings. So let's add them to the duck game. The simpler the game, the easier it is to add the offline earnings mechanic. In our case, it will be a breeze. We just save the time when a player closes the game and count how many seconds they were offline once they start the game again. Then we can multiply these seconds by the duck production value and receive the amount of ducks produced when the player was offline. The only thing left is to add winning conditions, because I do want this game to have an ending and probably encourage players to compete with each other to try to beat the game in the shortest time possible. I guess 1 billion ducks sounds like a good milestone to beat the game. I personally managed to do this in 14 minutes 44 seconds. Would you be able to beat my record? I feel like it should be easy because I wasn't even trying. Leave your records in the comments. in case you decided to give it a try. And yes, I've already uploaded the game to itch.io. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Let me know if it was engaging enough for you to beat it. And if you like incrementals like I do, make sure to subscribe to this channel because I'm planning to continue publishing videos just like this one. For now though, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.